1, it says, I've got 2 sets of parentheses. The second one is raised to the second power. Where do we want to start when we start simplifying this? What's your instinct telling you? What are we doing first? The one on the right. Let's distribute this 2. When I have an exponent on the outside of a set of parentheses, what do I do to that exponent? Just distributing it. We're multiplying it if there's already exponents on the inside. So this is like 2 to the second, x to the second, y to the second. Let's drop everything else down. Fantastic. We did our first step. The thing with combining all of these rules is that we're going to have to follow all of those rules that I think the last time we talked about them was in 6.2. Do you remember these 4 rules? We got to make sure there's no negative exponents, no zero exponents, no numbers raised to exponents, and each base is written once. So currently, I think I've got all of that going on in here. I have negative exponents. I have numbers raised to exponents. I have x's in 2 places, y's in 2 places. There's a lot of stuff we need to do. So the first thing I'm going to start with is this number raised to an exponent, 2 to the second. I'm going to make that a 4. I got that -5. What can I do with these x's here? How do I combine those? Jaden. We add the exponents. X to the 5th. What about the y's? Same thing? Y to the -1st. All right, so then these bases here, -5 and 4, those can come together to make -20. X to the 5th is all good. What happens to this y to the -1st power? It's going to go down to the bottom, so it should be over y to the +1st power. Any questions on that one? All right, we're going to keep trucking through. Example 2. Look at how crazy these start looking when we've got a bunch of stuff going on in there. I'm going to start by rewriting this like fraction bar, 12 on the top, 3 on the bottom. Let's take care of one variable at a time. What is the rule that we learned yesterday? How am I going to simplify those m's? When we were multiplying them together, we added the exponents. When we divide them, what's the opposite? We're going to subtract. So I'm going to subtract m to the 6th minus m to the 1st. So that's m to the 5th. Is that going to end up in the top or the bottom? Do you remember our rule from yesterday? It's wherever the most m's are, or where the highest exponent is. So m to the 6th is in the top, so I'm going to have m to the 5th in the top. Okay, let's talk about the p's. I have p to the -12th, p to the -3rd. -3 is bigger than -12, so I know that my p's are going to end up in the bottom of my fraction. Let's just do this really quickly. If I have -12 minus -3, that's going to get me p to the -9th, right? I'm going to make my exponent positive, and then the bigger exponent is in the bottom, so p to the 9th should show up in the bottom. Same thing with the q's. Q to the -3rd minus 4 is q to the -7th power. There's more q's in the bottom. 4 is bigger than -3. So q to the 7th should end up in the bottom. Are we done on this problem? What can we still do to it? We can simplify these numbers. These numbers, 12 over 3, simplifies to 4. 12 divided by 3 is 4. We're just going to write that up in the top. 4 m to the 5th over p to the 9th, q to the 7th. Beautiful. We got a few more. Example 3. Nice and easy. When we raise exponents to exponents, we're not adding, we're not subtracting, we are multiplying those exponents together. So 3 to the 1st power times -3 is 3 to the -3rd. A to the 2nd times -3 is a to the -6th. b to the negative 5th times negative 3 is b to the positive 15th. The 3 and the a both have negative exponents, so both of those are going to go down to the bottom. B to the 15th over 3 to the 3rd, a to the 6th. We finish that off. 3 to the 3rd is 27. Okay, in example 4, where do we want to start? What should we do first? There's a lot going on in here. I think we should probably start with dealing with this exponent right here. Let's distribute that 2 to everything on the inside there. So 6 to the 2nd, x to the 2nd, y, 3 times 2 is 6, z to the 2nd. Let's make 6 to the 2nd, let's make that 36. Let's leave that 18 right there where it is. What happens to my x's? They're going to cancel out. I've got x squared on the top, x squared on the bottom. If we subtracted that, it would be x to the 0th, which makes 1. What about the y's? Y to the 2nd in the top or the bottom? In the top. And then the z's. Z to the... yeah, Jacob. And the top or the bottom? Beautiful. Is this simplified? What do we still need to do to it? 36 over 18 simplifies to what? 2. Beautiful. Okay, 2 more. A lot going on in example 5 here. I'm going to take care of that first exponent. T to the 3rd to the negative 2nd is rewritten as t to the negative 6th. Then what do we want to do? What's our next step? Sarah?
Add the exponents on the top.
Okay, let's add those. T to the negative 6 and t to the 4th gives me t to the negative 2nd. Am I done yet? What's next? We got 2 more to do. What's next? Jaden. Okay, we could switch them, or can we just subtract them? Let's do this off to the side. T to the negative 2nd minus negative 5 is t to the positive 3rd. Is that going to end up in the top or the bottom of my fraction? The top, because there's more t's in the top. Negative 2 is bigger than negative 5. So this should be t to the 3rd over 2. Done. Beautiful. One more. What am I seeing in example 6? James? Yeah, to the power of 0. What does that tell me about everything in these parentheses? It's going to be 1 in the top. So 1 over 3x to the negative 3rd. Y to the negative 7th. Z. Okay, not quite simplified. What can I still do to this? Autumn? Perfect. Both of those are going to move to the top. X to the 3rd, y to the 7th, all over 3z. And I'm done. Any questions on that? Fantastic.